Hello, everyone. Welcome in today. Today was supposed to be your Big 12 breakdown, but with the news of Jake Retzloff, I had to completely scrap that video and start over. I've been a little under the weather here. I still don't feel great, but I got my voice back, so we're going to knock out the Notre Dame preview. This should be a pretty quick one, so let's jump right into this one. Getting to know the coaching staff. Head coach is still Marcus Freeman. Their offensive coordinator is still Mike Denbrock. He returned for a second year, and this is his second stint at Notre Dame. Now, on defensive coordinator, they lost Al Golden to the Cincinnati Bengals, and they brought in Chris Ash, who used to be the head coach at Rutgers a few years ago. Actually, it's probably been more than a few years now, but he was an assistant in the NFL, so we're going to have to see how he readjusts to college. He was previously the DC at Ohio State, so he has lots of experience in this region of the country. We're just not sure how it's all going to work out for him. Getting to know some of their offensive players, though, at quarterback, they got CJ Carr, who's going to be their starter. He hasn't played. He's a freshman redshirt. He was very highly touted coming out of high school. He was able to beat out Steve Angeli for the starting job, even though I really liked what I seen from Angeli last year, so I was surprised that they were so willing to call this race and allow Carr to take over the starting job. At wide receiver, they have Jaden Greathouse, who's a fantastic receiver. NFL draft communities like myself need to really know about him, along with Malachi Fields, who transferred in from Virginia. He's another great receiving prospect in the next NFL draft. Very likely to be a day 2 pick, in my opinion. They also have Jordan Faison at receiver. He's an underclassman. And then they also have Will Pauling, who came in from Wisconsin. He's somebody that I really liked early on in his career, and I thought he had a lot of potential when he was first at Cincinnati with Luke Fickell, but he just has never really lived up to it. At running back, of course, they got Jeremiah Love. He's the best running back in the nation now that Ashton Genty's in the NFL, and I do think he's probably going to be a first-round pick in next year's draft, if you ask me. They also have Jadarian Price, who's another running back that's going to get carries for him. He's a really good back as well. I think he averaged almost 6 yards a carry last year. And then at tight end, they got Eli Raridon stepping in this year to be their starter. At tackle, Anthony Knapp should be back and healthy. He's not eligible for the draft, but he's somebody you should know. They also have Emil Wagner playing right tackle for him. On the interior, they got Billy Sharuth, Ashton Craig, and then Charles Jagsa. I forget how to say his name. Either way, he played left tackle at times last year when Knapp was out, and he's also played across the offensive line, so he's going to be able to fill in here across the interior. Taking a look at their defense, guys to know, they got Christian Gray at corner. They also got Junior, I don't know how to say that name, Tui Halamaka. I think he's another edge rusher for him. And then at linebacker, they got Drake Bowen. Honestly, I don't think they have a lot of high-end NFL draft prospects on this team, but these are guys that I expect to be leaders of this defense, and they should be able to make an impact for him. Gray's probably the highest upside guy when you look at NFL draft prospects, at least right now anyway. They also have Joshua Burnham at the edge. And on the interior, they have Gabriel Rubio and Jason Oney. And then at linebacker, they got Jalen Sneed, Jaden Osbury, that you should also know. At corner, they got Leonard Moore, who's an underclassman. He's one of their starting outside corners, or is expected to be. They got Devonta Smith, who transferred in from Alabama to play in the nickel. At safety, they got Luke Tolish, and the other safety position is Aiden Schuler. This defense here isn't really loaded with a bunch of NFL talent, but I do think they're going to be able to continue Notre Dame's success on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, Christian Gray, he's a really good college corner. I don't think he's going to be an elite draft prospect, probably more of a mid-round guy if you ask me. Drake Bowen, I just don't think he has the quickness to be an NFL linebacker, but these guys here are going to be really good college players, and I expect Notre Dame's defense to maybe take a slight step back, but not that big of a step back. As we go ahead and look at their over-under for the season, Notre Dame is at 10.5 expected wins. I gave them toss-up games against Miami, Texas A&M, USC, Pittsburgh, and Syracuse. And honestly, that's a lot of toss-up games. I'm just not 100% sure. You know, when you're looking at a young quarterback taking over, sometimes it really works out and they hit the ground running. Sometimes there's some hiccups, so it's kind of hard to predict. But I will say, I'm going to go ahead and hit the under on Notre Dame this year, and I'm going to say they finish the season 10-2. Still a good year. They still might even get into the playoffs. I'm just not sure they're going to get 11 wins this year. Too much change. I don't think their defense is as elite as what it was, and I really do think that losing your defensive coordinator and Al Golden, who just fit in perfectly there, is going to affect them. Chris Ash could step in and be great. I'm just not 100% sure how it's going to work out. He's a new guy in the room. Sometimes it works masterfully, sometimes it fails epically. So we just don't really know what's going to happen there. But that's it. That's all I got for you here at Notre Dame. Like I said, 10-2 is your final record predictions. Next up will be the Big 12. I have to re-record that whole episode. I was editing it when the news of Jake Retzloff came through that he was going to be suspended for 7 games and then that he is transferring away. So unfortunately, that's part of the process. Luckily, I got news before I uploaded the video. I was in the final stages of editing, so that'll be your next one that'll come out. If not, it'll be college football content prior to that, CFP 25. That'll be back on the channel here soon as well. But I want to thank you for watching. Please like like, and subscribe. Like I said, sorry I'm sick, so I might not sound great, but when you have kids, this is what happens. Have a great day. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out.